Good evening, and welcome back, poetry lovers. It is I, ZM Wise, and here I am with another car recording just for you. Now, this video is not directly related to poetry or the arts, but there is a slight connection, and you will soon see why. I wanted to go ahead and just take the video challenge as instructed by at Team Not Ashamed or hashtag I'm Not Ashamed. It's this Twitter page and website that's dedicated to mental health awareness and so much more. It's a brilliant cause. And for the video challenge, you'll need to answer 5 questions. One of them is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and answer the optional question as well. So, question number 1. Why are you not ashamed of your mental illness? Now, for me, personally, I just use the term block to substitute over mental illness, but still mental illness. Well, for quite a while, I was living in a world of false judgment. We will continue to live in such a world because that is the nature of many humans. But thankfully, it wasn't by my family or close peers. Now, I reached a certain age where I just didn't care anymore, and if anything, I should own this and make this a part of who I am. So I did. Question number 2, which is the optional one. What are you diagnosed with? Well, for a while it was anxiety and depression. I do have ADD as well, but for me, in my case, ADD is just more fun. And, but after a while, the depression sort of wore off. If there was such a thing as a miracle, to me, that's what it was. However, an unfortunate incident put PTSD in its place. And no, to many who still think this, it doesn't just take a war to put you into PTSD. There are many, many other incidents out there that can do the same. That can inflict the same amount of mental damage to a person. And so, again, I coped with it at first, and then I started to own it. And I have ways to, I suppose, keep myself balanced. I don't really believe in the word sane, as I think it is as much of a curse word as normal and perfect and ordinary. Those should be eliminated from the dictionary, in my radical opinion. Question number 3. What do I do for a living? What am I studying? Well, I'm in the publishing business, but I do have a full-time job to help pay the bills. And even though the job is full-time, the way I look at life is the arts pretty much encompasses everything that I do in this life. It is a major part of my soul. But there will be relocation in the near future, and after settling in that destination, I will return to school and finish studying English in not just literature, but editing, writing, as writing, editing, and publishing are my strong suits. Passion/interests, okay? Well, as I said, the arts, primarily writing poetry, essays, and songs. And there are a number of, everything starts out as a poem, but there are certain pieces that I do eventually turn into songs. And I accompany them with music. Still learning a lot of musical moves, but I'm sure I'll get there eventually. I also love to read. I'm the epitome of a bibliophile, and I'm also a heavy practitioner of verbolatry, which is the worship of words. Absolutely crazy about words. And I'm one of those people who can write a single poem or song, or possibly even an essay about a certain word. There's so many unique words out there that people haven't discovered. And that's why I'm addicted to word porn. It's a wonderful site, and it provides pictures of all these words and definitions from not only from here but from around the world. It provides the etymology, different definitions. So you could see I'm geeking out, right? Fitness is also a very large part of my soul. Both my soul and body crave it. I'm no Greek Adonis, but I'm doing it for me, just for my health, and it has benefited me thus far. And I also love to encourage new and emerging artists, poets, musicians, and such to expose their work and possibly help them get recognized. And I also love to volunteer and help animals as much as possible. I used to work for an animal shelter for a little over 5 years, and then I'm starting to get back into that again. So. And finally, number 5, what is a piece of advice for someone who has just been diagnosed with a mental illness? Well, age can have a lot to do with it, so I'm going to make this a 2-part answer. If you're a child, or just anyone from the age of infancy to teenhood, don't be alone. Don't let anyone make you think that you are crazy, or any words along those lines. Stick to what you love. Own yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Say some very just words of praise to yourself. That helps. It can help if you let it. And if you're an adult, same thing. Try not to be alone in the matter. Let it sink in. Just take your time processing said information. It's never easy, no matter what it is. There's no mental illness that ranks over the other. But although some can have more detrimental effects if it reaches a certain stage, it's very unfortunate. Yeah, so that's about it. Those are all 5 questions. Sorry if I elaborated a little more than I should have, but what are you going to do? I appreciate you, Team Not Ashamed, for making this challenge available to everyone. I encourage as many people as possible to take video challenge, because even after repeating that I have anxiety and PTSD, it really does feel liberating to say. I can say that without the least bit of fear of contradiction, rather. Word mix-up. So, anyway, yeah. Poetry lives, and long live the art.